Hometown Ghost Stories contains serious and often distressing events and is not intended for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Marcus Bell didn't make a deal with the devil because his life was bad. He made a deal because he thought he deserved more. More money, more attention, more everything. That kind of ego is basically a dinner bell for the devil. Lucifer didn't show up in flames or brimstone. He showed up at the local bar with a briefcase and a contract. He sat across from Marcus at a bar tabletop, wearing a cheap suit like he was about to pitch car insurance. He slid the contract across the table and tapped a single line with one finger. Clause 9. Client will witness the moment of his death in any reflective surface. Reflections will always display the death at a slightly younger age. Non-negotiable. Marcus barely blinked. He figured he wouldn't be checking mirrors much after he was rich anyway, and he signed. The next morning, he caught his first vision in the bathroom mirror. Marcus saw himself as a brittle old man, 80-something, lying in a nursing home bed. No tubes, no pain, no panic. Just drifting out quietly, like someone turning down a dimmer switch. Marcus actually smiled. If that's how he went out, great. He could work with that. And for a while, the whole thing was easy to ignore. A few years went by. His face ended up on magazines, his bank account got ridiculous, and people treated him like he'd cured cancer simply by being famous. The problem was, as much as he tried to avoid reflections, it was impossible. And the reflection was getting younger and younger as the years went on. Then one night, Marcus shut a limo door and caught his reflection in the tinted window. Instead of a nursing home bed, which that vision had long been gone, he saw himself bleeding out in a stairwell, crawling for a door that he wouldn't reach. The reflection's hand twitched once, then nothing. He blinked, looked again, gone. The deaths kept changing. A storefront window showed him choking on smoke in an apartment fire. A stainless steel elevator wall showed him collapsing in a parking garage. A decorative fountain gave him a drowning scene he didn't appreciate. A spoon at a restaurant made him lose his appetite permanently. Always younger, always completely different, always some version of a bad ending. He tried to avoid it. Didn't matter. Once he saw his death in the reflection of a goddamn doorknob. 5 years in, he'd counted at least 200 different deaths. He covered mirrors, then windows, then anything that could hold a reflection. His house looked like a bunker for someone hiding from aluminum foil. Still, it didn't matter. One night, he opened the microwave and saw himself getting stabbed in the ribs by someone just off screen. He unplugged it and threw it into the yard. Then came the last one. Marcus wasn't expecting it. He wasn't near a bathroom. He wasn't nearby a window. He wasn't handling anything shiny. He was just standing in his kitchen, half asleep, opening the refrigerator. And as he grabbed the bottle of orange juice, he saw it in the plastic reflection. Himself. Same clothes, same posture, same tired face. Except the reflection Marcus saw had a bruise forming across his cheekbone. His lip was split, and he was lying on that very kitchen floor. A shadow leaned over him. Not some demon, not some monster, just a person. A human hand, a real one. Then the reflection blinked out as soon as he dropped the orange juice. Marcus didn't scream, didn't run, didn't pray. He just stood there and realized the only thing the devil had ever promised was honesty. The vision wasn't a warning. It wasn't symbolic. It was simply the last update. The real-time notification that fate had finished buffering. And somewhere in his dark, quiet house, a floorboard creaked. Marcus didn't turn around. He didn't need to. He already knew exactly what was about to happen. I'm Rob Coakley, and this is Hometown Ghost Stories, Campfire Tales.
What is going on, folks? Welcome into Hometown Ghost Stories, Campfire Ghost Stories, listener submitted tales of the supernatural. I'm Jesse Wilkins, joined by Rob Coakley. Hello, Rob.
Mostly listener submitted. We had to write a couple. In fairness, we didn't give our listeners enough time to send these in, and it was a holiday week. I wrote that opening, but we do have some listener ones in a little bit.
We do. And we also have Dave. Hi, Dave.
Hey.
Hey, it's good to have you.
It's good to be here.
We're so glad to see you here.
Yes.
Have you ever considered adding anything of substance with your first sentence, or no? Just pleasantries?
Nope.
It's good to have you.
Thanks.
Well, these are Campfire Tales. It's raining outside. It's terrible outside. So we are inside today doing our Campfire Tales. But in preparation for this, I made a little campfire background for us. So we still have a campfire. It's not real, and neither are these stories, but they are going to be scary.
That's right.
Some of them are based a little bit in truth, as you get sometimes with our opening ghost stories. So if you're familiar with listener submitted ghost stories, this is different. These are Campfire Tales. These ones are fictional tales that either we write or our listeners write, and they've submitted a few of them into the show for us to read out to you. And I am always impressed by these because we get to see the creative minds of the listeners and the talented stories that they come up with, or the stories they come up with their talents. They use their talents to come up with stories, and we read them with our talents of reading the stories.
That's right.
Very talented way to say that, Jesse. We're all
Thank
very
you.
proud of you.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yes. Before we do, though, let's thank everybody that's in our live chat. Let's also make sure that you're following us on Instagram this week. I would be sure to be doing that. Maybe be following Chris Jericho as well this week would be probably a good idea. Also, you can join us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 a month, you can get ad-free shows, and some of the higher tiers get extra bonus shows. Our bonus show this past month has been on doppelgangers, where we have some crazy stories of doppelgangers in human history. So go sign up for Patreon and watch that.
Speaking of Chris, I was just watching earlier today the latest release of Bruce Robbins' Hollywood Mentalist, which is one of Adam Ray's characters. He does these live shows where, he gets into character. He does the Dr. Phil live show, and he does this Bruce Robbins character, which is my absolute favorite of all the characters that he does. And he's just going through the crowd like he does, doing his crowd work, just interviewing people, and boom, it's just Chris Jericho in the crowd. And he's like, "Sir, what's your name?" Chris. He's like, "Do you travel?" And Chris is like, "Sometimes." This guy's traveling all the time. But yeah, random cameo. I'm sure Adam Ray knew who it was when he sat down and questioned him like everybody else in the crowd. But he didn't lead on that he knew who it was. But it was a funny little cameo. And
nice.
That episode dropped today. But can't wait to ask Chris about that. It's pretty funny. But it'll be on all the socials. So if you don't use Instagram and TikTok like Hannah says here, that's okay. We will post links to it. Usually if there's any sorts of lives, it's going to be a busy day, but we will we'll post some stuff up, and we'll clip some shorts and throw them on YouTube if you're not able to tune into any of the lives. But huge shout out to everybody that's hanging out in live chat. We got $9.99 in super chat from Lockwood and Company. Couldn't hang out for long, but wanted to say hi. I'm sure Lockwood will come back and watch the episode, even if she isn't hanging out right now. And shout out to everybody that threw in their submissions for the listener ghost stories, the Campfire ghost stories. We're going to get to those. And if you have real stories to share, send those over as well. But like I said, that is not for this episode. This one is fictional writings, spooky stories, and we have some very chilling ones. That first one was pretty good. And that was a creation by you, Rob.
Yeah, that's one that I've been playing around with, and I might even rewrite again, because I've really been thinking about, for the past month and a half, that idea where what if you could get a ton of money, but the catch is you have to keep looking at a reflection, and every time you do, you sort of die younger and a little bit more horrible in a more horrible way. So I was playing around with that a little bit. Very Dorian Gray, if for those of you that are familiar with the Dorian Gray story, differences, but sort of inspired by that. It actually started off, I was trying to think of a way, and I still might do this as well, but I wanted to write the Dorian Gray story from the point of view of the portrait. And for those of you, do you guys both know of the Dorian Gray story? I'm not sure if you're familiar.
I know we've talked about it before. It's not, remind me.
So Dorian Gray that story, I think it was written in the 1800s, was a fictional character, but the basis of the whole story was that Dorian Gray always looked the same age, no matter what, never a blemish. And basically, this painting of him took all of those blemishes. Anytime he was hurt, and as he got older, like everything that happened to him would happen to the painting instead. So like, and he had to like keep this portrait protected. So I was thinking maybe telling it from the point of view of the portrait itself would be cool. And I haven't done that yet, but considering it.
It reminded me of a story I heard a while ago, different concept, but it just reminded me of it. It was a guy who he would see people's deaths as like premonitions, sort of, but not in a dream. He'd see like real life. Like there was one, he was at the top of an apartment building and he saw somebody just suspended in midair. And he was like, what the hell was that? And then the next day had been somebody who had fallen to his death off the building. And then he realized what he was seeing was other people's deaths and they were real people. And then he started seeing his own. Like he saw himself walking in a crosswalk and getting hit by a bus. So he'd avoid that particular crosswalk, but then he'd see himself dying in another way. So he'd have to avoid that thing. And then it kept on going where he's like, I can't do anything because I keep seeing my own death in different ways. It's pretty good.
I think it's been done a few different ways, but like, I don't know. I think it's just such an interesting concept because it's like, what lengths are you willing to go? And the reflection thing, I think, is one of those where you see your reflection more than you even realize you see your reflection. Mm-hmm. So if you decide that like you were to do this, you would be like, fine, I can do without seeing my reflection. But it's like, you see your reflection a ton. Water, TV screens, computer monitors, car windows. Like it's something that's going to catch up with you whether you like it or not. So I thought it was a fun concept. I want to keep doing it. I want to rewrite it again, maybe make it even longer, but that was the idea behind it.
Yeah, I liked it. Nice job.
Cool.
Very cool. Well, like we said, we have some listeners that sent in their ghost stories, and I feel like it would be fitting to start with Rachel B., who I believe we've actually read one of her stories on our Campfire Tales while we were live by an actual campfire, which is almost as good as being by our fake campfire tonight as we come live to you on YouTube from our offices. But just to prepare for this, I did actually build a small fire in my office. So
good,
just to let the fans know that, we keep it real. We keep it real here on Hometown Ghost Stories.
That's right. I'd cover. So Rachel sent in a few of them. I read the first one on the live Campfire Tales outside, and I absolutely butchered it because it was dark and I couldn't read the small text. So I was like, you got to let me have another crack at one of Rachel B's stories. So I did it again. Well, I did a different one this time, but I had to shorten it a little bit. So it's going to sound flawless. But again, Rachel, I'm sorry, I technically butchered it again.
No, if there's anything that Dave's good at, it's doing crack again.
That's right.
Wow, that's what you meant, right? Okay, all right. Let's hop into our second story of the night by Rachel B.
Many people love the fall. The crisp air, the late warm days keeping gardens alive. Kids make ghosts out of bed sheets and spread germs left and right. Pumpkins are finished growing, and apples and corn show up at roadside stands by the barrel. Pumpkin spice takes over every single coffee shop, and bonfires roast marshmallows at night. It's beautiful, for the most part. At a dead-end road sits the busiest of all the produce stands, Old Harvest Bounty, run by a silver-haired old woman who simply smiles and waves as people drop money in a bucket. She loved to make the tourists and locals happy. It wasn't hard work, but it kept her up late. People usually didn't steal from her roadside stand, but she needed to keep things locked up from other greedy hands. Her grandchildren would visit occasionally, delighted by the cold nights, headlights, and the bustle of steady customers. "Why do you stay up so late?" Sam asked. "Close the lockbox, dear. We need to bring the leftovers inside," she said. Lucy bounded over with leaves stuck in her hair. She waved her hands over her head in delight. She rarely got to stay up this late. Together, they boxed up the vegetables, pulled the wagon to the garage, and locked everything away. "Why do you lock it all up?" Sam asked. "Some things must be done just so," she answered. "What's that supposed to mean?" Lucy asked, throwing both arms to her sides. "There are things you're not old enough to understand. Things no one should. Old ways, meant to be buried." The kids stared, confused, but she shooed them out so she could finish locking up. "But what about the girl?" Lucy asked. The old woman went rigid. "What girl?" "The one with the orange hair. The angry one hiding behind the trees," Lucy said. Sam added that they'd both seen her peeking in windows, running and hiding when noticed. The old woman hushed Lucy. "Don't look at her. Don't speak to her. Ignore her." She forced a smile, ushered them inside, and waited for the door to close. Then she hissed into the darkness. "My grandchildren were never part of this agreement. Keep your end of the deal, you antiquated wretch." She scattered straw around the garage, noticing it had been disturbed. A rustle came from the dark, a flash of red hair. "Come talk," the old woman snapped. A girl slowly came into the light. She was crouched down so that she was almost crawling. Her finger and toenails were long as talons, pointed and yellow. Dark red hair was unbrushed and tangled, but it still flowed around her face and shoulders, giving different shades of red as it moved. She curled her upper lip in a sneer at the old woman, showing off her pointed teeth. "Those children aren't part of the deal," the old woman said. "Why do you think I gave you such a bountiful garden and field this year? Your time is almost done, and one of those children will be my next caretaker," the girl snarled. "I'm not going anywhere," the old woman said. "You know I'm tied to your family. I bless your crops, you feed me. You'd be nothing without me," the girl replied. "I never agreed to this. You've been with me since childhood because you made a deal with the devil." The creature laughed. "Your ancestors bound me. I'm cursed. I can't touch crops. They rot. I need the caretaker to grow food that I can eat. I've done this for generations." "My grandchildren will never know you," the old woman said. Just then, the girl screamed, wringing her claws through her wild hair, and cried out, "You can't break the contract." The woman pulled a small leather book from her cardigan. The creature recoiled. "I found the truth," the old woman said. "My grandmother's story isn't yours. My family kept records. Your blessings were never worth the cost." The creature lunged, but the old woman held the book away. After years of notes and ledgers, she knew the truth. The creature gave life to one chosen caretaker, but drained life from the rest. The old woman's family had died young. She had been left alone to serve the creature. "Your food is what's left at the stand," she said. "Eat while you can." Then she locked herself in the house and went to her grandchildren. She tucked them into the spare room by the fireplace and opened the old book. "Long ago," she explained, "our ancestors bargained with a spirit. Food of the earth for luck. But the creature grew cruel, manipulating seasons and draining the family's life. To keep track, a ledger was kept. When the creature learned of it, it demanded it be removed, but other spirits cursed it instead. Its claws prevented it from ever feeding itself. Only a human caretaker could keep it alive. So if you ever see a wild figure at night," she read, "turn away. It will try to trick you into continuing the cycle." "What's the creature's name?" Lucy whispered. The old woman smiled, tossed the book into the fire, and said, "Puka." "That's my friend's name," Lucy said. "The girl with the red hair." "No, sweetie. Puka won't be coming back," the old woman said gently. "But she said her tummy was growling," Lucy said. "There's no more farming here, and you live in the city. Puka will move on." She kissed them goodnight. Downstairs, making tea, she looked up and saw the creature outside the window, staring with an expression she'd never seen. The woman waved politely. "Goodbye, Puka," she said.
Very cool, and thanks again to Rachel for sending in yet another chilling story on these campfire stories.
Yeah, that was a good one. She sent in a few of them, and I really liked this one. It was much longer. I like to think I made a movie that was based on the book. The book is much better. There's a lot more dialogue and a lot more detail in it, and she did an awesome job with it. I feel like, and Rachel, I know you're in chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong, this is based on the Irish Celtic puka, which was folklore, and it's kind of similar, but this was more of like a parasitic sort of sinister version of that folklore.
It was a terrifying one with terrifying imagery and a terrifying story with the kids. Yeah, it was really good.
It was. I had a fun time with it. This was I hope I got the depiction of the creature right. Somebody in chat said it looked like Dave Mustaine, and then I couldn't unsee it.
That's funny. The name throws me though, Puka, because of all the football content I do. As soon as you said Puka, I was like,
I was thinking Puka Nakua also.
Puka Nakua is a demon on the football field.
Rachel says it was actually because of a friend's pet who was named after the Irish Puka.
Very different Puka spelling and meaning, but both demons.
Yes.
But very cool. I would not want to take. I would, as Papa Squatch brought up, I would not want to inherit a demon.
No, I had a short stint as a caretaker of a wildlife sanctuary.
Oh,
and there were really aggressive geese. So that's pretty close, I think.
It's basically the same thing, Jesse.
Mm-hmm. I've had some terrifying experiences as well. Yeah. I'm sorry, what were we saying? They also don't like what?
They also don't like ledgers. So I mean, it's essentially the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Though the turkeys were a bit of a menace as well. Not necessarily as aggressive. They kind of just don't give a shit about anything. But the wild turkeys, they would peck at their own reflection on my vehicle. So I'd go outside and there would just be a turkey just slamming his head against the side of my car. I'm like, hey, stop it. Like it's put little, yeah.
Back when Vine was a thing, didn't you make that little video and put it on Vine and it went kind of viral?
I think so, yeah. I remember
it was
the
a
platform.
hilarious
I think
video.
it was on Vine. It was funny. I was like, hey, cut it out. Whatever. Like, just turkeys just headbutting my car. Yeah.
Weren't you the biggest menace there, though? Didn't you almost run one of Dave's children over with a lawnmower, if I remember correctly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did. That's a true story. I don't know if we told that story on the show before, but briefly, I will recap what was almost a terrible, terrible outcome. I was on a ride-on lawnmower.
Let me give you my perspective of this real quick first. It's very short. So I'm at work. Jesse has my twins who were at the time like 3, 4 maybe. Maybe not even younger.
No, they
Really?
were older. Yeah, because I had whatever.
They were like
I think
10.
they were like 7 or 8, or maybe a little older.
They were
It's possible.
kids.
Either way, they were little. And Jesse calls me and he goes, "Everything's fine, but I just ran one of your kids over with a ride-on lawnmower." I'm like, "Explain everything's fine."
You still have one.
This is why you had twins, right? Just in case. Yeah, but basically, to make a terrifying, almost horrible story short, I was mowing the lawn, and I had my son on my lap. He was a small baby at the time, and the twins were hanging out on the porch. And I noticed that they were running around a little bit, so I was like, "All right, guys, I don't want to accidentally." It literally said, "I don't want to accidentally run one of you over, so please stay on the porch." And they're this is why I'm saying they weren't 3 or 4. Like this,
Right.
they were at least.
This
I
was
would say
actually I know
minimum
which
7 or 8.
I know which job I was on. This was in 2015, so 10 years ago. So they were 7.
Okay, got it. Anyways, they were old enough to take direction, but I could still tell that they were being a little mischievous, and they were playing games of who could try to run by, behind me without me noticing or whatever. Anyways, I'm just mowing along, and then I throw the thing in reverse, and I look behind me, and there are feet sticking out the back of the, the lawnmower, and I hear a scream. I'm like, why is there a child underneath this lawnmower? And so I kill the lawnmower, and
luckily it's the lawnmower that you killed.
So the trick is with
Can't use kill as a verb there.
bad verb. With these lawnmowers in particular, and I don't know if they're all the same, but when they're moving forward, the blades are spinning. But when you're going backwards, they actually stop spinning. I think for this reason.
Yeah.
And so I was smart enough not to be, I'm on top of this child. So I didn't put it in drive to get it off of him. I left it and hopped down. And sure enough, I guess he had ran behind the lawnmower and his shoe kicked off before I went into reverse. And then he went down to grab it, and I had gone in reverse just at the wrong time. I'd been planning this for months. It didn't work out for me. But anyways, I pull him up from under the lawnmower, and he's perfectly fine, thank God. And I'm like checking him all over for injuries, and he's just flipping out, of course, because he thought he was about to die. And he's literally screaming like, I don't want to die. I'm like, I need to know if you're okay. And I pick him up. I'm like, this is probably the wrong way to go about all of this. So the first thing you do with a victim of a traumatic accident is obviously pick them up and try to put them on their feet and see if they can stand. That's what I did. And he just flops over because he's just being all dramatic and
dramatic. You're so dramatic. You just ran him over with a lawnmower.
Like, calm down. We've all been there.
The only thing you could have done better is just brought him inside and made him watch Sinister.
Oh God, what a jump scare scene that is.
Anyways,
there was either we still haven't to this day, or we waited years before we informed Kate's mother that happened. My wife, her mother, just because it would have been no bueno.
Yeah. So I placed the call, and I almost kicked off the conversation with like, dude, I just ran over your kid with a lawnmower. And then I was going to say, buddy's fine. And I thought about that right before you picked up the phone. I was like, let me reverse the order of operations here and let you know that everything's fine. So anyways.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesse's starting a babysitting company if anybody would like to have their kids watched.
Yeah.
Babysitting landscaping.
Now,
it's a joint venture.
It's an enterprise.
I will say that you have not asked me to babysit your children since then. I don't know if it's a coincidence.
That is not true.
Yeah, I watch your kids all the time. Anyways, all right, let's hop into the next story here. This one comes from somebody that I didn't run over with a lawnmower yet. Don't want to rule anything out, but this is from Brennan. And longtime listener of the show, absolute legend, sent in a story. And I knew it was going to be good to a point where I didn't even read the story first. I just hit record and started reading it, and it came out, I thought, fantastic. Great story. I got goosebumps at the end, so it was good. It was good, but this one is called, I called it Tornado Warning, but I don't know if that's what he called it. That's what I called it, so that's what sticks. Let's rock and roll.
The National Weather Service in Memphis has declared a tornado warning for Hardin County. Seek shelter immediately. That was the message that crackled from the old sirens around town. I was 17 at the time, just a few months away from finally being able to officially become a volunteer firefighter. I had done all the training, but being a minor, I wasn't legally allowed to go on any actual calls. The weather that day was warm, a little too warm to be February 5th, even in Southwest Tennessee. We never thought that there would actually be a tornado on the ground, even though Jackson, Tennessee had been hit just a few hours earlier. As we watched the clouds turn an eerie green, I saw what looked like a funnel. My pager in my bedroom began dropping tones. All first responders, District 5, we have a confirmed touchdown. Sharon Baptist Church had been hit. I jumped in my truck and headed for the fire station. Due to my age, I wasn't allowed to assist in any rescue operations, so my job was to pass out bottled water. The damage was unbelievable. Movies can't do it justice. Entire houses swept off their foundations. The concrete slabs were so clean you could eat off them. Yet the bushes around the houses weren't missing a leaf. I got home late that night. My best friend was already 18 and told me everything they had seen. One man was killed instantly sitting at his kitchen table. He still had a cookie in his mouth when they found him. That was February 5th, 2008. A day later would be known as Super Tuesday. The tornado was rated an EF4. I drifted away from the fire department as I got older. Sharon Baptist Church had since been rebuilt, and many people barely seem to remember it. I went to the neighborhood recently. It was a pretty cloudy day, a slight change of thunderstorms, but nothing to be concerned with. I was there just walking around after going for a drive, since the church is very close to my house. I walked until I was almost to the wood line, when a man came up and began to chat. "The sky sure looks angry, don't it?" "Yes, sir. It's a little cloudy," I said. "Awful warm today. The breeze sure is cold, though. Almost like the day we had when the Twister came through." "Yeah, I remember that day very well. Did you happen to see it?" "Well, yes and no. I used to live around here, but never did see the thing. I just heard what sounded like a freight train." "Was your house okay?" "No, son. Look down. You see that concrete? That used to be my foundation." Before I could say anything, the wind began to pick up as the sky turned the same eerie green. "You better get the shelter, son. Thanks for stopping by. I haven't had much company lately." He took a bite of the cookie that he was holding when the speakers began to crackle to life. "The National Weather Service has declared a tornado warning for Hardin County. Seek shelter immediately." Story sent in from Brennan B.
Just another flawless accent by me, I would say.
Okay, boy.
I always go full Arthur Morgan whenever I do accents from anywhere south of Connecticut. Doesn't happen. For reference, Dave, Connecticut is in Canada.
Nah, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was a terrifying story. Tornadoes, probably the scariest natural disaster there is, because they just come out of nowhere and they just wreak. Like, hurricanes are obviously bad. I'm not pro hurricane. I'm going to take that hard stance. But tornadoes just appear and just wreck shit.
Yeah,
like with no warning.
Remember our Midwest trip last year?
Yeah. We decided to go during tornado season.
Brennan says, here's the interesting part. Every single thing except for the ghost at the end is 100% true, and that happened February 5th, 2008, which is believable because tornadoes do be happening a lot out that way.
Yeah, that's true. And I remember as a kid, we had a tornado warning, which is rare in our area of Massachusetts. And I remember seeing it actually started to create a funnel. It never touched down, but it was pretty horrifying because there's no escaping it. I don't know. It's crazy. I guess you go in the basement, whatever protocol is, climb under a lawnmower, maybe.
Yeah, that tends to be. Hold on to the blades, whatever you do. Just make sure.
It's perfect because if the lawnmower does get picked up, then the blades will turn it into kind of a mini helicopter. You can just fly away to safety. I actually recommend it.
That's a good sound strategy there. I think maybe the only more devastating natural disaster, at least around here, would be a hurricane. But those are coming for days, right?
Right.
Like you were saying, Rob, a tornado will just pop up. Surprise.
Yeah, and when I was down south, when I lived in Mississippi, the hurricane that hit the hardest while I was down there in the area that I lived was George's, I think is how they pronounced it. And we ended up having a tornado during that hurricane go through our backyard. It went right down the fence line. It's like a mini tornado that just tore up the entire fence as it went down. It was it didn't hit the houses, thank God.
Yeah.
But destroyed the fence line. It was insane.
Yeah, that's scary. Dana says my house was hit by a tornado 2.5 years ago. Took my roof and a bunch of trees. The house and the family survived, though. That is a nightmare. I don't think I know anyone who actually had their house hit by a tornado. That's scary. I've seen lots of videos and stuff, but
dude, the videos are next level with those when it just wipes out basically an entire small town, like in
Yeah.
Oklahoma or something like that.
Yeah, in the age of TikTok, I've seen a few videos of people that are taking them as the tornado rips over their house and they're in the basement, and it's absolutely nightmare fuel. It's really not any less crazy than in the Twister movies when you see it.
Yeah, I really like the ghost story in this as well, where we got the foreshadowing of the cookie.
Mhm.
He's having that conversation. So, like, well done, Brennan. Great
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, he said everything was true up until basically the ghost at the end, but it was a pretty wild experience that you had there, and to be able to turn that into a dark story is cool, because it's always cool to be able to sprinkle in some truth with some fiction to make it that much more spooky and realistic. Because if you're writing from a place where you've experienced certain things, it's easier in our business here it's easier to write about things that have actually happened than just coming up with details that you never thought of.
Because you know all the feelings that would be associated with it. It's just hard to write a story about getting abducted by aliens versus write a story about being trapped in a haunted house. If you've done the latter, it's easier to write about it.
Absolutely. Very cool. Rob, what was your other one? Was it Savannah's?
Yeah, Savannah's story. So Savannah M sent this one in. It is it's scary. That's what I'll say. That's all the foreshadowing you get.
Stephanie mentions my accent. Stephanie, when I do Southern states, you get one accent and one accent only, and that's Red Dead Redemption, Arthur Morgan. So
okay, boy.
You'll be fine. Okay. All right, let's hop to the next one here.
The autumn after I turned 17, my older cousin Elijah dared me to go with him deep into the woods to find the witch's shack. Everyone knew the witch was just a scary story that parents told their kids to keep them in line and out of the woods. The shack was a rundown house from years ago that no one lived in. He told me, "You're 17 now. You have to be a man." I agreed to the dare, because what's the harm in a legend? That afternoon, we packed a couple snacks and water jugs and made our way deep into the woods. By evening, we were further than we'd ever been. The sun was sinking, and if you didn't know where you were going, you'd never get back out again. We eventually found the shack, a mangled thing with the roof falling in, cracked windows, and a janky door that moved slightly with the breeze. We heard a cracking branch behind us and turned. A blonde woman looked at us, her hair dirty and matted. "Can I help you?" Elijah stepped forward. "You shouldn't be out here, ma'am. It's not safe. Let me take you home. Do you live in town?" The woman smirked. "Not safe? And what's not safe exactly?" My cousin cleared his throat. "Well, it's been getting cold that night, and there's animals." Her smile broadened. "But these are my woods, and this is my home." I took a step back, preparing to run. Elijah laughed. "I think you must be confused. No one lives here. It's not fit for living anyway. Let's go." He reached for her. She put a hand into her pocket and grabbed something. She held out her palm and blew dust into our faces. I immediately started to feel weak and dizzy. My knees buckled, and I fell to the ground. I struggled to look up, and where the young woman had once been, a cackling old hag was now standing. When I woke up, it was morning, and my cousin was nowhere to be found. I tried to stand, but my body felt like it wasn't my own. My mouth felt too big. My legs and arms felt wrong. I looked at myself in a puddle, horrified to see that where my hands used to be were furry paws. I tried to scream, but a whine came out. "Serves you nuisances right. You want to stick your noses where they don't belong? Well, now you'll have an easier time." I finally gained my bearings. Everything smelled stronger, but looked wrong. Yellow and blue where other colors should have been. Did she turn me into a dog? I tried to speak again. Another whine. "The only way to get rid of your little predicament is to kill a fox. Once it's dead, you'll be normal again. Although, I'm not sure why you'd want to be after being a coyote for a time. Coyotes are so misunderstood. She cackled again. And you can tell your little friend the same thing I told you. Goodbye now. She turned and disappeared into the shack. A coyote? And I had to kill a fox? There's barely any foxes around here. It'll be impossible. I spent an unknown amount of time learning to walk on my new legs. The sun slowly moving across the sky. Every sound sent my ears twitching. I turn my head. I catch a strong whiff of something, and I see a flash of movement. A fox. I break into a run, chasing and snapping. It's fast, but my legs are longer. I clear the distance between myself and the fox and tackle it. It screams, a terrible sound. Internally, I say I'm sorry, knowing the fox can't hear my thoughts. I wrap my jaws around its jugular until it stops fighting. Hot blood fills my mouth. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But it's not enough. I let go of the lifeless corpse. My vision blurs. Excruciating pain fills my body as my bones shift and my muscles stretch or constrict. I scream now, a sound somewhere between human and animal. The pain overwhelms me. My vision goes black, and I lose consciousness. I'm sore when I wake again. My jaw, my legs, my back. I look at my hands, relieved to see human hands, caked in blood. I spit fur and blood from my mouth. I need to find a stream to clean myself before I go home, or my mother would murder me. I stand and turn one last time to see the poor fox I mutilated and to give it a proper burial. Only when I turn, there's no fox. Only the bloodied, mangled corpse of Elijah. Story submitted by Savannah M.
I was thinking that might have been where we were going there.
Dude, that was a great horror twist ending.
Yeah.
That was
Phenomenal.
That was fantastic.
Such a good story, Savannah. Thank you for sending that in. I hope I did it justice because, yeah, great twist, great story.
Great premise,
yeah. Yeah. And a fox doesn't die in the story. It's just a human, so we're all fine.
It's just a cousin.
Great call. Yeah.
It's relatable.
Right. There's no animals were harmed in the writing of this story. It's perfect.
I think we've all
piss off PETA.
we've all bitten a cousin from time to time, right? It's a relatable story. Huge shout out to Whisper. I don't know if we mentioned, but she threw 10 gifted memberships in on YouTube, as well as another Vice throwing in 20 gifted memberships. So thank you so much for your generosity. If you're enjoying these stories, make sure you leave a like on the video, hit subscribe if you haven't already. And we got a couple more to get through. These ones are a little bit long.
Yeah, a little bit longer, but just to wrap up that one, I loved the twist. I loved the starting by going to the abandoned shack because you don't know what you're getting. It could be a ghost story, it could be anything. You're in the middle of the woods. You get the witch story, and then just the curse that you get from that witch is phenomenal. It shows you that the story is like just so good. Thank you.
Very well written. Sorry,
Another one that
I had a fur ball cut in my throat. I bit my cousin earlier.
Yeah, this one is another one that felt like it might have been had like some folklore inspiration to it also.
Yeah.
Kind of read like one of those old school, here's a scary story that has an underlying meaning to serve as a lesson, left ambiguous so you could kind of apply it to your own life one way or another. Mm-hmm. Like don't, run over family members with lawnmowers or something like that.
Have you tried it? I mean, I've tried it.
You tried it enough for both of us.
I wanted to end on my story. I was like, oh, my story's going to be a good one to end on, but I edited your audio earlier, and I felt like we should probably end on your story, Dave. But this one I wrote, and it's an original, and I was kind of excited about this one. So
this is good. I didn't want to follow Savannah. You follow her. I'll follow you.
I will follow Savannah. No Southern accents in this one, or Western accents. It's hard to tell. And but this one is an original. It is called The Neighbor.
The walls in the old duplex on Carver Street were thin,
the way cheap coffins are thin. I took the upstairs unit in late September, after the divorce papers were signed and my house felt too big for one man. The landlord, a tired-eyed woman named Miss Pulaski, handed down the keys and said, "Downstairs is Mr. Hargrove. He keeps to himself, pays on time, doesn't like noise." She said it like a warning. The first night, I heard him. It drifted up through the floorboards, muffled but unmistakable. A man's low, patient voice, the kind teachers use when they're one smart remark away from losing it entirely. "Timothy, I've told you and told you, you can't keep doing that." A pause, then sharper. "I see you, boy. Don't you smirk at me." No second voice answered, just the creak of floorboards under pacing feet, the occasional thud of something dropped or thrown. It went on for 20 minutes, and then it stopped. I lay awake, listening to the silence afterward. This happened 3, maybe 4 nights a week. Always seemed the same rhythm. The calm warning, the rising anger, the boy's silence, and then the old man's exhausted surrender. "Fine, stay up there then. See if I care." I started timing my life around it. I'd pause whatever I was watching when the muttering began downstairs. I would lean towards the radiator like it was a confessional grate. After a while, I would predict the stages. Stage 1, the lecture about respect. Stage 2, the threat of no supper. Stage 3, the cracked, pleading note that came in just before the old man gave up. One Sunday in October, the Red Sox blowing a 4-run lead in the 9th, I ran into Hargrove in the hallway. He was hauling a bag of groceries, canned ravioli, and off-brand beer mostly. Thin gray hair, liver-spotted scalp, eyes the color of pond water. He looked 70, going on dead. "Afternoon," I said. He nodded, fumbling for his keys. "Sounds like you got your hands full down there. Boys that age, huh?" His hands froze on the doorknob. For a second, the only sound was the paper sack rustling against his leg. "Don't have a boy," he said, not looking at me. "Must be the television. Old set. Volume sticks." Then he was inside, closed the door quickly, 2 deadbolts sliding across. That night, the TV blared. Some cop show with a laugh track cranked. But even through the canned laughter, I heard him underneath it, low and furious. "You think that's funny? You think I won't do it again?" I turned my own volume up until my ears hurt and still heard him. November came and went. The arguments grew louder, more vicious. One Thursday, it went past 2 a.m. I heard a crash that shook the dust from the light fixture. Then Hargrove shouting a single word that I couldn't make out. Something answered him. Not a voice, more like a pressure drop in the room, the way air changes right before lightning. I pulled on jeans and went downstairs. My fist hesitated an inch from his door. From the other side came the sound of a grown man breathing, like he'd run up 10 flights. I knocked anyway. The door opened about 6 inches, chain still on. Hargrove's face floated in the empty gap, pale and wet. "Everything okay down here?" I asked. Heard a hell of a bang. Slipped in the kitchen," he said too quickly. "Clumsy, sorry for the noise." His eyes flicked past me and up the stairwell, searching. "Want me to take a look? I used to..." "Good night, Mr. Turner." The door shut, the chain rattled, the deadbolts again. I stood there for a long time, listening to nothing. 3 nights later, I woke to something in my bedroom. Not a noise, a weight. The way you feel when someone stands behind you on an empty street. In the corner nearest to the closet stood a shape, the size of a 10-year-old boy, blacker than the shadows around it. No face, no features, just absence, wearing the outline of a child. It didn't move. It didn't have to.
The air around it felt thin. I couldn't scream. My chest had forgotten how my lungs worked. The shape tilted its head, listening to something that I couldn't hear. Then it raised one arm, slow, the way a kid does when he's not sure if the teacher will call on him. The figure pointed at the floor, at downstairs. I found my voice. "What do you want?" It lowered the arm. The temperature in the room dropped another 10 degrees. My breath came out white. Then the figure was gone. Not faded, gone. I didn't sleep that night. The boy came every night after that, always in the same corner, always silent. Sometimes he just stood. Sometimes he pointed down, insistent. I started leaving the lights on. Then I just started leaving the apartment altogether when the sun went down, drinking coffee at the all-night diner on Congress until the waitress began giving me pitying looks. One night I was pouring my 4th refill when Hargrove slid into the booth across from me without asking. He looked worse, eyes sunken, lips cracked and bleeding where he'd been chewing on them raw. "You've seen him," he said. Not a question. I couldn't lie. "Every night." He closed his eyes like a man hearing a death sentence read out loud. "I tried keeping him downstairs," he whispered. "Tried keeping him busy with me." "What is it?" My voice cracked. "What the hell is it?" Hargrove leaned forward. His breath smelled like spoiled milk and fear. "Timothy. He died in 1987. Car accident. My fault. Drunk behind the wheel. 8 years old. After the funeral, something started visiting the house. Not Timmy. Never Timmy. It just wore his shape. I argued with it every night so it would stay busy with me, so it wouldn't go looking for fresh hearts upstairs." He gripped my wrist hard enough to bruise. I thought if I never admitted it was there, it would stay satisfied with me. I'm already hollow. There's nothing left in me for it to eat. His fingers dug deeper, but it's tired of the game. It wants something new. That night I sat on my couch with every light burning and a kitchen knife across my knees. Around 2 a.m., the doorknob turned. Then the door to the shared hallway burst open behind me. I hadn't locked it. Stupid. And Hargrove stumbled in, wild-eyed, clutching a dented metal flashlight. "Get away from him!" he screamed at the corner. The shadow boy unfolded from nothing, taller now, edges rippling like a heat haze. It took one soundless step towards me. Hargrove swung the flashlight. It passed through the thing without resistance, but the shadow flinched away, recoiling like the old man had surprised it. "Leave him be!" Hargrove's voice broke into sobs. "I'm the one you want. I'm the one who killed him. Take me, damn you! Take me!" The shadow hesitated. The room stank of ozone and wet pennies. Then it moved, fast, pouring itself into Hargrove like black water down a drain. The old man's mouth stretched open in a silent howl. His eyes rolled white. The flashlight clattered to the floor. He dropped. I crawled over, shaking him, slapping his face. His skin was ice. "Hargrove! Hargrove!" His eyes snapped open, but they weren't his anymore. They were too wide, too bright, the pupils blown huge and black. He smiled with my neighbor's mouth, a child's shy smile. "Hi, Dad," he said in a voice that wasn't a voice at all.
A heartwarming tale.
It was terrifying. Nice job.
Yeah. Thanks.
I guess I didn't have to shorten Rachel's story after all.
Yeah, I prepared you. It was a long one.
It was good though.
It was fun. Yeah, the AI on that one was pretty cool, with the dilated pupils and stuff like that. So the animations, pretty cool, because stories like this, when we found ourselves in the early days of the show really struggling with writing stories because we would also have to do a visual element for audio listeners. You're missing out. You got to come over and watch the video portion to see what we do now. But in the early days, it was like, all right, I should probably just write a story in the woods or something that we can film ourselves or whatever, because doing the video portions of these ghost stories is always challenging. But now with the evolution of AI, it's a lot more fun.
Yes. I was just telling Dave in our private chat as we were watching that with the dilated pupils, I took edibles one night and we watched Lord of the Rings at Dave's house. And I was sitting on the couch next to the twins that you almost murdered. and they would just they were just doing normal things, but like, because I took these edibles, it just like, there's two twins next to me and one of them would just slowly turn and stare at me, and it would feel like it was for hours on end, but it was just like for a second. But I'm just trying to watch Lord of the Rings, and I just have a twin looking at me like this, and I had to leave.
I actually paid them. I was like, wait until Rob's edibles kick in, but once they do, just stare at them and don't stop.
Not that I would ever, but the time does seem to slow down. You overanalyze every little thing.
Oh, yeah. I went nuts on that one.
I was yeah. Anyways, shout out to Papa Squatch through 20 gifted memberships in YouTube chat. So make sure you guys say thank you to Papa Squatch if you received a membership, and thank you once again for the generosity there. As we hop into our final story of the night, this one written by Dave. This is just you, right?
Just me.
Awesome. All right, let's hop into it.
The date of December 2nd, 1994 will forever be ingrained in my memory because it was the day Rob Coakley went missing. We were 5th grade classmates. He didn't show up to school on that Friday, which wasn't exactly shocking, but when he didn't come home that afternoon either, his parents obviously panicked and reported him missing. Days went by, and then weeks. Still no sign of Rob. That was when the rumors started around school. The bridge troll got him. That was the rumor. There was an old footbridge in the woods behind North Street, near where Rob lived. In math class, Tyler claimed he had been out there and caught a glimpse of a troll below the bridge. The rumor now was that the bridge troll was what was responsible for Rob's disappearance, and it spread around the school like wildfire. Unsurprisingly, none of the adults took the claim seriously, nor did the police. But nevertheless, every day, another kid would claim to have visited the bridge and caught a glimpse of the troll themselves. I have to admit, although being skeptical at first, I was beginning to become intrigued. I decided not to take the bus home one afternoon, electing to walk instead. I lived close enough where walking would obviously take longer, but not so long that it would be a problem. Plus, the route home would take me right past the path to the North Street footbridge. I made the trek into the woods and down the footpath. The sun was beginning to set, as it did so early this time of year, so I knew I had to hurry. I approached the bend in the path just before the creek where the bridge was, and a sense of unease rose up inside me. I was looking at the bridge now, and something inside me urged me to turn back. But I pushed on. I had already come this far. I crept up and walked sideways off the path to get a better look down the steep embankment that led down to the stream that ran beneath the bridge. At first, I didn't see anything, but then I saw it. The troll. It was peeking out from behind a rock. There was no mistaking it. I was too frightened to scream. It was looking right at me with its milky yellow eyes that bulged from its pale bluish face. I turned around and sprinted home as fast as I could. I couldn't hide my fear from my parents and didn't even bother trying. I blurted everything to them as soon as I walked in the door. At first, they brushed me off and told me it was just the dim light of the shadowy dusk playing tricks on my eyes, but after several minutes of pleading, my dad finally agreed to accompany down there to see for himself. I led him down the footpath, up to the bend before the bridge. He instructed me to wait there and went on ahead with his flashlight. After a few moments, he shouted, and I heard him immediately hurrying back towards me. The look on his face confirmed everything. Home, now, he told me, and the two of us hurried back home, where he promptly called the police. I heard him say on the phone, "That missing boy, Rob Coakley. His body is under the North Street Bridge. At first, I couldn't believe it. The rumors really were true. The bridge troll had gotten Rob. But I soon learned that wasn't exactly the case. Rob had been on his way to school. He had missed the bus and took the footpath as a shortcut. He had lost his footing and fallen down the embankment, hit his head on the rock, and drowned in the creek. What we all had mistaken for the troll was actually just the dead, bloated corpse of poor Rob Coakley.
I have an idea for future episodes of
That was
Campfire Stories.
just to clear it up. That was the Rob Coakley from Ireland, the rival Rob Coakley.
Oh, because you made it pretty clearly just from North Street, but that's fine. Semantics. I think that in the future, the next episode will just be chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the Bridge Troll, and Rob's body just decomposing further and further.
I was wondering what was going to end this show eventually. And it's going to be people tuning out because of these story wars that we're about to have, because you just opened a door that you shouldn't have opened. And luckily I'm not petty and I never hold a grudge.
Right. True.
That's a good thing about me.
Well, I'd like to point you to every single one of the old Campfire Stories where we would do these years ago, and I'd kill you off in at least every one of those too.
I'd like to point you to the future ones where you're not surviving anything ever.
You did blow it though. You should have came up with a much more pathetic way for Rob to die.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't hate him that much.
Anyways, yeah. So shout out to everybody who sent in their stories. If you come up with something, again, these are more for creative writings for the next one. So if you want to come up with a ghost story, you can send it on over. Save your true stories for our next regular listener submitted ghost story episode, which is different. Again, that's only for true stories. This one is for fictional scary stories. And these were all bangers tonight. So I appreciate everyone who sent those in. And yeah, you can email those over or throw them in Discord. And that'll pretty much do it. Do we have any reviews you want to hop into?
Yeah, we got 2 reviews here. We got one on Spotify. This is from Melly, who left it on our Frankenstein review. And they wrote, I'm going to watch this movie based on the scores y'all have given. Great podcast, by the way. I love every episode, and I've been binging the older episodes to catch up on everything. I love you guys. And then this is over on Apple.
Great review. Thank you. We love you too.
Yes.
Awesome.
This is again, this is on Apple. My phone I just set up a new phone, so I had to update for a second there. But this is from VA Robin, titled Best Ever. I had been listening to other podcasts that were good, but after a while the episodes started sounding the same. I found Chris and I was listening to his podcast and I love it. Haunted American History. Shout out to Chris. Then I stumbled across you guys and I just can't get enough. Even on days when I leave work stressed and in tears, you guys make me laugh. I love listening to your show. When I'm driving to and from work, I listen. When I'm folding clothes, I listen. When I'm setting up new scenes in my yard with skeletons, I listen. Anyway, love you guys and thank you for the humor, stories, research, and banter. So thank you, Robin, for that. And the final review was just somebody today came over because our episode on the Ghost Bunny podcast dropped today. So you can go listen to us on Bridget's show, but somebody came over and said that they subscribed because they heard us over there just a little while ago. So
cool. Welcome.
Good week.
Absolutely. Let's thank our patrons real quick. Start with our VIPs. We have Wyatt Fox, Donnie N. I am back after working a month of Spooky Tuesday. Jennifer A. The blackest night falls from the skies. The darkness grows. All light dies. We crave your heart and your demise. By my black hand, the dead shall rise. I almost got that one right that time. KCW, Brendina 77, Kathy F, Ghost Nurse, JP, Another Vice. I'm Jesse Wilkins. Tess. I am Jesse's microwave, and I'm always watching. Kate and Steve M, Glitter Tees, Cami from Washington, Kelly C, Liz Young, Chris C, LBPS founder, Inspires Gaming, Allison V, Robert H, Janine, Raven Lunatics, Mom and Pops W, Father Squash the Elder, Lisa J, and oh my God. And now I understand that reference because I watched the movie that's in reference to. So
Dave didn't.
Dave
watched the wrong Troll 2. There's a Troll 2 on Netflix, and I watched that and hated it. wrote a killer synopsis for it, just shredding it, and I don't know if I'll ever get to use it.
Yeah, if it was actually a horror movie, we might have been able to actually cover that one instead, or in the future, not instead. But anyways, if you're looking to stay up to date, it's the, I believe, 1990 version of Troll 2.
Yes.
Which should have been called Goblin, but we'll get into that during the review. Anyways, next up we have our Warren's Awards, starting with Tamara A, Nikki, Linda F, Kegsy in Wales, Robin the Witch from Virginia, or the VA. I don't know. It's VA. I'm assuming that's Virginia.
For the friends who just gave us our review.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Crystal V, we have Big Bad Inky or Big Badinky. Bones shanked me in the Legat Panera bread. I did really well with that one. I was super fast and everything's fine. Colleen D, Joe and the Dogs, Freya and Frank, Masshole, Medic, Susan C, T-Cat, Whisper. Rob's belly button is the best glory hole. No lint, 10 out of 10. Jeremy M, Cheese Pants for Salami Pockets. Whoever wins, we lose. Beth C, Sarah B, Her Lady Spook Ship. We should have wrote a ghost story about that. Cheese Pants versus Salami Pockets. Next time. Yep. Victim of Ohio, Morgan S. Colby always remembers. Kath Q, the other Rachel B. Resting Witch Face. Mar Fire, Lily. Y'all, Bigfoot is real. He just hides in Rob's belly button. Rob's belly button creates sandpaper. Rob's belly button is a puka cavern. We got 3 in a row there. Ghost Ghouls, Ghost, Ghostbusters, Ghost, Ghosties, Ghost Rob. In an ideal world, one day every Patreon name will just be about Rob's belly button. Seth on guitar. Yeah, Seth on guitar, and Dave doesn't know where Tennessee is, but physics, no problem. You can update that to Jesse doesn't know how people from Tennessee sound if you so choose to do so. And finally, we'll hop into the Ghost Pirate Mafia. Get back to work. The Loon Joker 07, Lil Cat 02, Damian B, Jet L, Rachel P, Jody L, Chicky Ticky 67, Tez F, FM Cop, Ninja Clown, Cammy and Steve R, Shag Tudabone 33, TV, GS Warrior, Mothman gathers ghouls for ghostly shoveling service, Dave bathes in Rob's used hot dog water. That is a fact. Cold to the Miscellany GOB, Graham B, D loves ketchup on eggs. That's just about as bad as Dave bathing in Rob's hot dog water.
Used hot dog. What is used hot dog water?
That means you've already boiled the hot dogs, Dave, obviously.
Yeah.
So what's unused hot dog water? Just water?
It's water that you plan to boil hot dogs.
Yeah.
Just Ghostly, Witchy Kitty 416, Karen L, Michael M, Amber R, Brant C, Shane O'Mac, Joe, Kate C, Kelly C, bloop, bloop. Cowboys are the worst franchise ever. Miss Macabre, Naroku, Rachel G, Cold Warrior, Original Ghost Adventures crew versus U3. Who wins ghost hunting supremacy on the line? Is this a fist fight or a ghost like a ghost?
Yeah. What are we doing?
What was the other show?
Ghost Adventures crew.
Oh yeah. What are we?
I mean, Zach's a strong dude.
Oh, we would win a fight.
We just put MMA Dave versus Zach. I'll fight whoever. I'll fight anyone. I don't know. That sounds like fun. I would do that. An old charity fight. I don't know. Zach's pretty jacked. Dave, you got to have to take down Zach for us. D from H-Town, Meta A, Monster Mom 04, Dave D, Wicked Alley, Dark Snark. This isn't a Patreon name, but I just wanted to admit that Ohio has better pizza than my restaurant. You know, that would have been a better comment if Rob was the one reading the Patreon names, but I guess Rob also doesn't own a pizza place, but that's fine. Also, see, you're going to make me turn on Ohio pizza. I've been like a nice supporter of Ohio pizza, but I could say patently false, but I had to go ahead and read that anyways. Arcade Hunters, Wayne C, Crystal Quinn, Halloween 3 is the best, and Rob has bad taste. Thick Boy Freddy's baby mama was definitely yeeted. Alicia E. Also, I will say, Thick Boy Freddy's baby mama has not updated her Patreon name since updating that to her Patreon name. So might have happened. I don't know. Thick Boy Freddy got caught by Rafferty's. Please call Ron Meshmesher for me. I'm locked up with the ghost of Al Capone. Help. Bigfoot stole my lunch from Jesse's microwave. And the microwave watched the whole thing go down.
It does.
Sam from Nepal. Joe would definitely be called a witch. R, just Al Capone. Huggy Bear. Black as midnight, black as pitch black as the hearts of the three-titted witch. I thought that was like real poetic at first, and then we just got to the
just got the business at the end.
Anna C, Solar Flare, Mariah M, Carrie Lee J, Cody G, Hooply Whooply, Soph, and Fergus the Sad. Get happier there, Fergus. Anyways, that'll pretty much do it for tonight's episode. Thank you so much to everybody again who sent in their stories. Shout out to Lockwood and Company, Papa Squatch, Whisper, and Another Vice for donating. We appreciate you all so much. We'll be back with another regular episode of Hometown Ghost Stories next week. Tune in on Thursday to the socials. Keep an eye on it. See what we're up to. Should be some fun stuff going on there with our good friend Chris Jericho. So
Yes.
we shall see. And anything else?
No, I'm very taken aback by one of those Patreon names. It's like, the night is as dark as the coffee in my cup. Tits. It's just like
3 of them. Anyways, if you're wondering what that's about, go back and listen to Tuesday's episode where we covered the witch trials of Southern Maryland, and it will make a lot more sense. But that'll pretty much do it. Thanks again to everybody who tuned in, and we'll see you guys next time for another episode of Hometown Ghost Stories. Appreciate it.
Peace.